Hello everyone, Kyle here. This video is straight from the Project Finance Modeling package. It relates to the Construction tab and follows after we've calculated the construction cost for a wind farm. We're now trying to figure out how do we fund that cost through debt and equity. In this video, we're actually going to build in those calculations in the wind farm model. So let's jump in.
The second part is to do our sources and uses. So sources and uses. The whole point of sources and uses is that they balance. The project is not producing revenue, so any construction expenditure needs to be met from external funding. What are the two broad categories of funding? That's right, debt and equity. Now, there are three funding structures in terms of the hierarchy of drawdowns. Firstly, all equity is drawn first before debt is drawn. Secondly, equity is drawn down pro rata or pari passu as debt is drawn. And thirdly, debt is drawn first. Equity drawn first is the most common, as lenders usually expect equity to put their money first. Occasionally, lenders are okay with pro rata drawdown, and hardly ever will lenders be okay with having debt drawn first. What is in equity's best interests? Well, generally it is to delay when they put their money in as much as possible in order to increase their return on cash. Debt's interests are to try and de-risk the project as much as possible, and having equity with skin in the game, i.e. equity, is helpful. So debt drawn first still occurs, and it's usually when lenders are comfortable with the risks with the particular equity provider. So you usually see it when they are lending to well-established funds that are big players in the market with exceptional credit ratings. And of course, debt get paid for it, right? They collect more interest during construction. Okay, so broadly, let's go right back to basics. What's the difference between equity and debt? Well, debt don't get compensated for any upside, and equity do. Debt is higher up in the hierarchy than equity, so debt get cash flows from the project first of all stakeholders, and equity get them last. And debt gets compensated by way of interest and fees. So once again, what are our uses? What are our uses of funds here? So remember, we're in construction. There's no cash going to this project whatsoever. What is the uses of funds during that point? Well, we've just worked out the main one, right? Construction costs, including contingency. Do we include contingency? And the answer is absolutely. What are some other costs? Well, let's come to that. And I'll create a total here. So just creating the infrastructure here for the next part. So construction costs can be linked to the above. Control Shift right, Shift left, Control R. Total, Alt equals, Alt HJ, line sub. So there we go. And maybe I'll put some formula text in there. Okay, so we've got uses. Now let's cover our sources. Generally, what are our sources? Well, the main two sources are just debt and equity, right? And there's some variance of that. So debt can come in a few different flavors. It could be junior debt, senior debt. Equity can also come in a few different flavors. You could get a shareholder loan, for example. We're going to consider quite a simple case here, which is just debt and equity, just senior debt and equity. And we're going to consider equity drawing down first, which is the most common. We have equity drawdowns. This is our sources. And equity drawdowns are going to draw down until they're fully exhausted. And then after that, we'll figure out what is the cash flow required after equity. So if I look at this 8663 here, how much of that can be funded by equity in this first period? And remember, we're drawing down until we're fully exhausted. Can I just fund all of that by equity? Well, I'm not sure yet. You're probably looking at this and saying, I don't actually know how much equity we have. So let's have a look on our inputs. And here we look and we say, okay, we've got $10,000. These aren't really optimized by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a good proxy. So if I then go back to cons, okay, got 10,000. Well, if I have 10,000, I'm drawing equity first. I can absolutely make that 8,663 or 8.63 million. Absolutely, I can make it. But then in the next period, I can only make a little bit of that, right? About 1.33 million worth. So how do I then calculate how much I can make? And probably, as you know, you have to make the calculation. You're kind of saying, okay, it's 10 minus 8.633 and the lower amount of what I just said and that amount, and that's the equity drawdown. And you'd be totally right in that, and you can formulate that. You can formulate that with a sum which kind of goes like this. And that calculates how much you've spent so far without that. So you'd have like your 10,000 minus that. The 10,000, obviously a hard code, you'd put it to the right. And you'd have a minimum of this amount and this one. So 10,000 minus this, or in this case it would be plus because I already put a minus, right? And that would do the calculation. Now, what we're going to do is try and make it easier on ourselves by actually having an account which keeps track of that for us. So we're going to have this account, and I'm just going to leave a bit of room for myself in a funding section. An account is a way that we have of making things a lot easier just to keep track of any balances. So balance BF is balance brought forward, balance CF is balance carried forward. And how this works is the balance brought forward is always equal to previous periods carried forward. So the opening balance always equals previous period's closing balance. The closing balance is alt equals equals. It's the addition of the opening balance plus whatever movements there are. There's only drawdown movements here, so it's the opening balance plus the drawdowns. I'm going to copy that across and just style those as comma zeros. 0 because it's to 0 decimal places. And the last thing is I'm going to have a line balance here. This is a account balance. And here's keeps track of what happens, the sum of the movements. This is empty because Alt-MD, it's in use. And if I do Alt-MD here as well, you can probably see why this is called a corkscrew account. So it corkscrews its way across. And this is an easier way of doing the kind of sum function than having that cumulative sum that I had before. Now, remember, if I'm trying to figure out how much do I draw down here, then I need to figure out how much do I need? That's how much I need is 8663. And then how much do I have remaining? And this is how much I've drawn down. It's not how much I actually have remaining. So in order to do how much I have remaining, we have undrawn amount at the start of the period. Copy those down. And here's my total facility size coming from H66 in the input sheet. It's 10,000, great, and I'll copy the format that we have here. So what I'm saying is if I've drawn down 0, the undrawn amount at the start of the period should be 10,000. It's this anchored to the column minus the opening balance, because that's the undrawn amount at the start of the period. If I'd drawn down, for example, 5,000 already, then this would be 5,000 and it would keep track of having 5,000, but I haven't. So the last thing is, by the way, I just want to make sure this is just on the construction flag. So it's only able to draw down. There's only an undrawn amount during construction and nothing during operations because we can't actually draw down. Therefore, there shouldn't be any available. So hopefully this is making sense. And last thing, drawdowns. This should be linked to what the actual drawdown calculated is. Because this is a minus, kind of keep a bit of nomenclature consistent. And so that we can see that these are flows, the direction of the flows. Then I have to have this as a minus, so the account is represented as positive. Don't worry about this formula yet, because I've essentially just hard-coded it. Okay, so as per just setting this to that, we've drawn down 8663 and we've got 1338 available. So the formula here needs to be the lower amount of this amount and this amount. How much you need to fund and how much you have available. So the lower amount being the min. So the min of how much you need and how much you actually have available. So if I do that, the minimum is clearly 8663. Now Control R here. Look at that. The minimum of 8663 and 1338 takes 1338. And that updates in the account. So it's drawn 1338. And in addition to the opening, it's drawn 10 million total, which now means that there's 0 available to draw next period, okay? Because it's 10 million total minus 10 million drawn is 0 available. And so if I copy this across, it's taking the minimum of 8663, which is what we need, and 0, which is what we have available. Copy that across. Okay, and then the total drawn is 10. Okay, so that's how we've exhausted equity. As I mentioned, it's equity first in this particular arrangement. So here is the amount required after equity. Line sub. So this is the new kind of amount required. Here was the old amount required for equity. Here's the new amount required for what? For what source of funding? Well, any source of funding after equity. So any that's kind of in a way more senior than goes later in than equity. And in this case, as I mentioned, we're just doing senior debt. So we're just keeping it quite simple. So senior debt drawdowns. Now we need to do the same. You could just say, well, isn't everything remaining? And the answer is no. This could be more than what you've sized your debt at. In this case, it's not. We've got debt of 30, but it will be soon. So senior debt drawdowns, how do we figure out, can we make this amount required or not in this period? And essentially, we have to do the same thing as we did here. We have to do the same thing. So I'm going to do Shift space, Control C, Shift space, Enter. So I'm copying this whole account. And this is great because it saves me a lot of work. Now, there's a bunch of things I have to change. I have to change the name of this. I have to change the amount that's being the total facility size. And I probably have to change this, where the drawdown's coming from. So I'm going to make those changes. So this is senior debt. This amount comes from inputs G66 from here. And this should be linked not to there, but to whatever drawdown has been calculated in this cascade of sources that I'm modeling here. And I'm just going to get rid of those yellow items now that I've done them. The point of doing that was just to show you that you can save a lot of time and effort by just copying a section like Shift space, Control C, Shift space, Enter. Okay, so I've done my account now. I'm keeping track of things. Here is where I need to say, and this is a minus, by the way, is minus the minimum of how much you need and how much you have available. So how much you need and how much you have. That's the crux of this whole piece here. It's keeping track of how much you actually have available. We all know what you need here, and subsequently here when we're looking at senior debt. We all know what you need. It's what you have that's a little bit trickier. And this is why I started off saying, okay, you could have the minimum and have this sum blah, 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 of 30,000 minus how much you've drawn to date. But you don't want to calculate that sum all in the same calculation because it can get a little bit much. And that's why we have it here, because it's a lot easier to eyeball. Obviously, the tricky part of this is that you're kind of referencing above and referencing below, and then the below depends on this depends on this, and this depends on the drawdown, which depends on this. So I can totally understand any confusion that may arise. The key thing to keep track of in your head is this is the undrawn amount. This is the thing that's doing all the work in terms of calculating how much you actually have, because really we're just doing a minimum of how much you need and how much you have. That's what it all boils down to. So cash flow required after debt. So let's just see if there's anything that's popping out the end, anything that's unfunded, and not at the moment. But if there was, we could have additional equity drawdowns. You should never use those when you've optimized your debt, but it's just going to be equal to the minus of how much is required after debt. So it's kind of just having a fail safe. And there's no shortfall because that covers any shortfall. I'm just going to delete this row here, shift space, control minus. Okay, so then I'm funded, right? I've funded all that and I've got my senior debt and I've worked it out. I'm equity first and it looks like quite a smooth kind of cascade. You can see how it cascades down. So if I wanted to look at, I guess I could do this, Alt F1. Probably doesn't tell me that much. That's the equity. There's the debt drawdowns. It's fine. So what am I missing now?